This video is for Math 70, and this is a pretty short assignment. It's a brief assignment on linear applications, and you will have a question like this on your final exam, so I just want to make sure that you're familiar with this type of problem before we get to that test. And these problems, they look a lot more intimidating than they actually are. So, problem 2 on the assignment says the monthly cost of driving a car depends on the number of miles driven in a linear relationship. Okay? So a linear relationship means that it's proportional. Okay? If you graph it, it'll make a straight line. There are a number of relationships that are nonlinear, and those things will sometimes make curves. If you drop something, like if you drop a ball from 100 feet in the air, how far it falls depends on acceleration due to gravity, which makes this curved relationship. Also, this thing called Newton's law of cooling, like if you've got a cup of coffee, right, and it starts out at, let's say, 180 degrees, the way that it cools off is a non-linear relationship. It actually cools off much more in the first 10 minutes than it does really in the next half an hour. Okay? So that's an example of a non-linear relationship. These relationships that we're talking about will be linear relationships. Okay? So we've got a little graph here in problem 2 for this linear relationship. So I'll sketch the graph so that we can work from it. We've got points identified as 400, well, let me just draw the line here. So 480 miles driven costs $380, and then 800 miles driven costs $460. Okay, so all the problem is asking you for is an equation for this line. Okay, now we did an assignment very much like this a little while ago, where I gave you 2 points on a line and I asked you for the equation of the line. So the first thing we need to do to solve a problem like that is to find the slope. Okay, so let's see here. We'll take y2 minus y1, 460 minus 380. And then since I started with the 460, I have to start with the 800 minus 480. Okay, so up on top, what do we get there? 80. And on the bottom, what is that going to be? 320. Okay, so now we want to reduce. Cancel out those zeros. 8 goes into 8 once. 8 into 32 goes 4 times. So that's our slope, positive 1/4. Okay, so y equals 1/4 x plus b. And remember, to find out what the value of b is, pick either one of these 2 points. It doesn't matter which one, but you've got to take them as a pair. I'll use this one. Y is 380 when x is, let's see here, yeah, 480. Let me double check those numbers. Just make sure I'm doing this correct. Yeah. 480 miles driven costs $380. All right. So 1/4 times 480 should be 120. Subtract the 120 on both sides. This will be 260. That's the value of b. And so the answer to the question is y equals 1/4 x plus 260. Okay, so that's really all there is to these problems, is just to take these 2 points, find the slope, and then find the y-intercept and write the equation. Okay, now let's look at problem 4. Okay, problem 4, let's see the graph here, it's doing something along these lines, and we've got 1 point here, 0, 75,000, and the other one So let's see here. So again, all we need to do here is to first off find the slope. So we're going to do 75,000 minus 48,500. And then since I started with the 75,000, I have to start with the 0 minus 5. All right, let's see here. I think I'll get the calculator out and do some multi-digit subtraction here. 75,000 minus 48,500, 26,500 over negative 5, divide by negative 5, so this is negative 5,300. That's our slope. Okay, so that means our line, the equation is going to be y equals negative 5,300x plus b. Now, this one actually happens to give you the y-intercept there. That 5 doesn't look very clear. There we go, 75,000. That is the y-intercept. That's actually the value of b, is that 75,000. Now, you could plug in 75,000 here and 0 here, and we would solve for b as being 75,000. However you go about doing it, there's the equation for this line, y equals negative 5,300x plus 75,000. Okay, so that's it for this assignment. There's really just 2 problems for you to do on there, problem 1 and problem 3. And like I said, they're very much like those problems that we did a little while ago, where I give you 2 points and ask you for the equation of the line. There's just a lot more information thrown in these problems, and they're put in the context of a word problem. Okay, so as always, if you have any questions as you're doing these problems, please let me know. Thanks.